Seeing none, I would go ahead and accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to accept the quote to outfit the 2026 Freightliner dump truck from American Equipment in the amount of $131,178.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Blanks and a second by Mr. Shannon, and we'll start here with you, Mr. McMahon.
No questions. Thank you, Matt.
No questions.
If we could, on a lot of these, we get pictures, you know? I know it seems silly, but we get just a sketch. You know, I think we bought $1 million fire truck and it was just a sketch, and I was like, I'd like to see the, the big shiny pictures if we could, if it's available, but, the outfitting costs more than the truck itself. And, I hope all the parts and pieces are on there, so, appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Ms. Blanks,
No questions, thanks, Matt.
Ms. Long.
No questions, thank you.
Was this a little bit more than what you had expected it to, the estimate, or
Yeah, some of the prices have gone up with recent tariffs and whatnot, so.
combination? And did the newer features of this, did that have some impact on the cost as
Yeah,
well?
a little bit. Essentially what we're buying is like a dump truck with a spreader, which we weren't planning on doing initially, but this allows us to get this newer style spreader or newer style feature on this truck, so.
Great.
Did you say the tariffs applied to it?
Yeah, like some of our steel costs have gone up.
So we have to pay the cost for
They hadn't even been put in
those?
place until last week.
I'm sorry, what?
They just got put in place last week. They already put that on the bid?
I've, like, the construction project that I'm working on for the Public Works Vehicles building.
I worry about people taking advantage of the news headlines a lot of times, so.
I've had two different, March and April both, I've had stuff going up because of them.
Thanks.
And we pay the cost of those, right, not the other countries? I just wanted to clarify.
Subtle.
I think it's reciprocal.
Is this available for delivery, or has it got a lead time on it? And
It'll-
if that's in there, I apologize, I didn't see it.
Oh, no, yeah, there will be a lead time on it as well, so. They've gotten a lot better since, about 3 years ago, I think we ordered a truck, and it was about 18 months later before it showed up. The last one we ordered through them, they did come in within, I don't know, 6, 8 months.
Is that about what you anticipate for this one?
Yeah, we should have it before winter.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, I'd ask the clerk to record the vote.
Voting on a motion to accept the quote to outfit the 2026 Freightliner dump truck from American Equipment in the amount of $131,178. Kip?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beats. On to item number 7, donation of fire department AMCUS rescue tool system to Piper High School firefighter training program. Staff?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Captain Osmus, the Fire Department. We're just asking permission to donate a 20-plus-year-old AMCUS extrication tool set to Piper's Fire Department, or Fire Training Academy they got going on.
Anything else from staff? Is there any residents who wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would go ahead and accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the donation of the AMCUS Rescue Tool System to the Piper High School Firefighters Training Program.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Ms. Blanks. We'll start down there with you, Mr. Shannon.
I think that's great, helping other people, and that's super. Thank you for all you do.
Seems like a great use of those. Thanks.
What's the 25 word or less description of an Amicus rescue tool system?
The Jaws of Life.
Thank you.
Is this the first time we've done something like this?
Yes,
Donate.
we've donated some like gear and some smaller stuff to them to help them out, but this is the first major piece of equipment we donated to them.
Sure, and I'm sure Piper's very appreciative of this. Yeah.
They've been in talks with Bonner Springs too to kind of commingle and do some training together with their high school students as well.
So you guys are going to show them how to use this equipment, or
It'll be
there's
on
people
Piper
already there?
and KCK.
Pardon?
Piper and KCK will do most of it.
We're donating and then give it to them and let them do their thing.
Yeah,
with it.
he's the guy in charge of it's also a part-timer with Bonner Springs, so he'll still
Excellent.
be part of it.
Thanks for what you do.
Ms. Blanks?
I'm glad it's getting put to use and donated, so thank you for arranging that.
Yeah, no questions, thank you.
I'm glad you added that little comment there that the students from Bonner Springs High School also will be participating up there.
Yeah, we've been talking about a cadet program and stuff and working together, so.
And I'm glad to hear that, because if we're donating it to a school district that's outside our city, it's nice to see that our students are also going to be able to take advantage of it. So if there's no other comments or questions, I would ask the clerk to record the vote.
Voting on to approve a donation of the AMCUS Rescue Tool System to the Piper High School Firefighter Training Program. Shannon?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, and I assume the deputy put you up to this tonight, right? So
Both him and the chief, yeah. Duties as assigned. Got the next down
he's back
too,
there
so.
smiling. So. I assume you're staying around for the next item as well. Is that accurate?
I am.
So item number 8, ordinance to require inspection permits for mobile food trucks.
Yeah, we're coming up with a plan in the works with the Kansas City metro area. It's an annual inspection on food trucks that puts a sticker on their window with some serial numbers so we can keep track of inspections and deficiencies and just kind of, instead of having to inspect them every time they come into town, it'll put everything together and work metro-wide.
Any residents wish to speak on this? Seeing none, I would go ahead and accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to adopt an ordinance requiring inspection permits for mobile food trucks.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Blanks and a second by Mr. McMahon. We'll start with you, Ms. Long.
Are you asking if I have questions? No questions.
I appreciate this. I know Megan and I help facilitate all the food trucks downtown, so I'm looking forward to this, just streamlining the process. I would just say, and Megan might already have it, but just either a form or a link or just information that we can send out to our food vendors, just in case they don't have it, which a lot of them already do, but that would be very helpful. So thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
I think Emily was touching on it. For the most part, most of our trucks already have these stickers, or you'll get out in front of it in advance. So, maybe it's one of those food trucks we really like, but they need to go through the proper procedures.
Yes, in general, we encourage, for Tiblo Days, we require that they have the Metropolitan Metropolitan Fire Chief's sticker on their truck. So, yeah, for the most part, we try to use reputable trucks that work in the metro area anyways. I've always told them usually, if you work in Olathe, Overland Park, one of those cities, you have to participate in a program like this anyways, so we encourage them to do it.
What's the expense for that?
No expense at this time.
There's not? Okay, excellent.
Yeah, and a lot of them also, we send out information about food handling through the Kansas Department of Ag and things like that as well. So that went out actually at the beginning of this year. We forwarded out a training information session to anybody who's been a food truck in our events over the last couple of years.
So what are some of the items that you're looking for, just out of curiosity? Like if they have gas or something?
Like safety items, they're cooking with grease, the hood system, the Ansel system's intact, extinguishers, proper extinguishers, any leaks, fumes, stuff like that, just safety nature.
Thank you.
Is that an instant process where if they could come in and get that sticker inspection and sticker the same day that they intend to open, or does that have to be
I
done?
believe the way it's been is once you guys get the food trucks in town, then they call us, we go do the inspection. Once the sticker's on there, it should make it to where it can be an all-in-one.
Mr. Shannon? I just want to double check. I understand that it, as a cooperative, we're working with the other agencies, and they don't have to have it inspected in each area.
Correct. Once the sticker's on there, it has a serial number, and they can look it up on
Gotcha.
the list.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I would go ahead and have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on a motion to adopt an ordinance requiring inspection permits for mobile food trucks. Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Captain, and also for your input, Ms. Gillen. With that, we will move on to item number nine, Great Plains SPCA contract.
Good evening, Captain Pate with Bonner PD. And tonight we have before you the contract for Great Plains SPCA for renewal. It has not been renewed, from my understanding, since 2021. They saw a significant price increase with this contract, up to 47% on some of the costs, ranging, the lowest was 10%. The biggest one of those was the unclaimed large dog fee, which went up to $670 per dog from $456. And then the small and medium dogs went from $375 to $525. Medical fees went up 10% as well. For the overall financial impact, we expect to see that an increase of about $9,000 for the year. If we continue at the same pace of animals that we've had over the last year, which last year we saw 30, we are expecting about 35 dogs this year to go for transfers. That since the memorandum was submitted, we have had that reviewed by the city attorney with no issues given. This does renew annually automatically unless there's an update sent out. That was the only concern. That's all I have.
Is there any residents who wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Great Plains SPCA for animal-related services pending approval of the contract by the city attorney.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Ms. Long. We'll go ahead and start, I'm sorry, Ms. Blanks, my apologies, Ms. Blanks. We'll go ahead and start down there with you, Mr. Shannon.
I think this is great. As I spoke to you previously before the meeting, Heather, thanks. I know you spent a lot of time doing this, and this is a great savings, and I appreciate all your hard work. Thank you.
Shirley?
I'm astounded that we spent $25,000 on animal fees. That blew my mind. In general, are the non-claimed animals also unregistered? Or are there any possibilities of going back to the owners for the fees that we incur?
Yeah, the unclaimed animals that we're transferring generally are not registered with the city. Any of the tags that we have had on any of them have been expired and no longer valid, to include the chips that we've located.
Okay, thanks.
McMahon?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Captain.
Ms. Blanks?
Thank you for what you and Kendra do and the department. I see officers' vehicles down there just as much as Kendra's van. I know it's all hands on deck. I know you and I have had multiple conversations of I just cannot believe how many strays of cats and dogs we have in our community, even with the trap, neuter, and release program. So just thank you for your work on this. I mean, just to see these numbers, as Councilwoman Gurley just said, is unreal. So thanks for taking care of our furry friends in the community.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you, Captain Pate. Appreciate the information. Unfortunately, yes, it's part of the times. Costs do go up, and unfortunately, we can't just put the animals back on the street. They got to go somewhere. So if there's no more comments, question? Oh, yes, please.
Related, not related, have we had a good response to the part-time position for the animal control assistant?
Yes, we did, and we have a conditional job offer out. We're just doing background now.
Lovely, thank you.
Good to hear that. Any other comments, questions? If not, I would have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on a motion to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Great Plains SPCA for animal-related services, pending approval of the contract by the city attorney. Gurley?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to item number 10. I assume that's why you're hanging out, Captain. Authorization to move 2026 capital funds to purchase a police vehicle in 2025.
Yes, we are asking for the capital funds from the 2026 budget that is currently in existence to be moved from 2026 to 2025 for the purchase of a police vehicle for this year, moving those funds forward. Currently, we have 9 vehicles that are over 5 years old, 5 of those over 100,000 miles. One of those has since died since we wrote this memorandum, beyond repair, with a blown engine. So our fleet is crashing around us, falling apart, and we're asking to move that forward to get one of those replaced ahead of time.
Anyone from the public wish to comment on this? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to authorize staff to purchase and equip one police department vehicle using CIP funds scheduled for 2026 in an amount not to exceed $80,500.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Gurley, a second by Mr. McMahon, and we'll go ahead and start with you, Ms. Long. Any comments, questions?
How many vehicles are currently not able to be serviced?
We have one that
Just one?
died beyond
Okay.
repair, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Ms.
No
Long?
questions. Thanks, Captain.
Mr. McMahon?
Leave it alone. No questions.
Ms. Gurley?
Is any of the upfitting equipment able to be transferred from the recently deceased?
Not from the recently deceased,
Well said.
as the vehicle that just died was actually a detective vehicle, so that didn't have a lot of the equipment in it currently, because that's already been recycled into other police vehicles. Some equipment we would be able to continue to recycle as we move one from patrol to investigations, as we tend to move the older vehicles out into detectives. So we would be able to use some of that equipment pending we can get a Explorer. Right now, the market is not cooperating for us, and those are hard to come by. Right now, the only thing that we're able to locate has been a Dodge Durango, but there are slated some for production in July that we're hoping to get on order for.
Okay.
So that would help.
All right, thank you.
No questions.
Mr. Shannon?
No question, but thanks again.
The vehicle that died, I think Councilmember Gurley might have a great location for it. Just north of your driveway entrance.
If we can just put it there with the lights on, that'd be fabulous.
So, I have no further comments or questions, so if nobody else has anything, I would have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on a motion to authorize staff to purchase and equip one police department vehicle utilizing CIP funds scheduled for 2026 in an amount not to exceed $80,500. Shannon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Have debate. Okay, item number 11, main pump replacement at the aquatic park.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Nathan Brungert. I'm with the Recreation Department, and I'm asking you to move some funds from this year's capital improvement plan to allow me to replace the main pump at the pool. In March, this pump started making a weird sound. I had a contractor come in, and we believe that it has one of a couple bearings that is seized. This is a pump that is critical to the facility operating. In the packet I submitted, there's a whole bunch of information in there about some difficulties we discovered with this pump. It's an odd pump to have in an aquatic park, but that is kind of on brand with the innovative pool that we put in at the time. I have one other thing I wanted to say. I apologize. Staff goes in during the off-season to run this pump for about 3 seconds once a month just to prevent this seizing from happening. I was expecting to get about 2 more years out of this pump before it went out. With what we're doing, this would put in a brand-new pump to us, and then using existing budgeted funds, I would repair the pump that is currently there, allowing us to have a spare ready to go should this happen again. I would entertain any questions.
Thank you. Any citizens wish to comment on this? Seeing none, I would accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the replacement of the main pool pump using CIP funds for a total not to exceed $12,500.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Blanks and a second by Mr. Shannon, and we'll start with you, Ms. Blanks.
No questions. Thanks for all your work on the pool, Nathan. I know it's quite the undertaking.
Ms. Long?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
No questions for me.
Ms. Gurley?
Nothing.
Mr. Kipp?
Thank you for the pics. It helps explain the story a little bit. Was there any other bids?
I reached out to a total of 3 different companies. I had 2 companies come on site. I only had 1 company reach out with a bid. Part of that is a vertical pump. That's going to be very common in like your wastewater water treatment plants. And it's very odd to have that pump in a pool in a confined space. Most pool pumps sit next to each other, so it's on a flat surface. There's less friction. Another issue that we've had with this is the schematics that we have for how that pump is set up. We don't have any. So I'm a little hesitant to have another company come in that's not familiar with the setup and try something.
Nate, thank you for all you do, and I noticed in the, what you wrote and stuff that you're going to take, as you said, the other pump and refurbish that one, because if you wanted to refurbish it now, it would take too much time to get it done. So I think that's very heads up on your part, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one question. I may have missed it in the read ahead, and I apologize if I did, but is that the original pump from when that pool was placed? Yep, I can see Justine shaking her head.
No, the last time that pump was put in was my first year here, 2021. We did a rebuild on it, so it wasn't a full replacement.
Gotcha. Now, was the rebuild on the original then, or? Nope, so we're still, we have a tendency to go, is that normal for these pumps to go out every 4 or 5 years?
5 years is what I aim for. I'm realizing that might be a little optimistic. This is the second pump I'm replacing in my tenure here. So yeah, I think it's realistic, but we're going to plan for the worst, with them lasting maybe 3 or 4 years moving forward.
And I assume the rebuild is a lot inexpensive compared to purchasing a new, but it takes some time to do. So, okay, so it's a good idea then we have a backup, we can then rotate back and forth. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, I would go ahead and have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on a motion to approve the replacement of the main pool pump using CIP funds for a total not to exceed $12,500. Long?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baumgarten. On to item number 12. You didn't think we'd be here very long, did you? The Drug and Alcohol Advisory Committee 2025 funding recommendations.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tilly LaPlante, Finance Director and Staff Liaison for the Drug and Alcohol Committee. Our committee met in March of this year. We had 6 applications for funding, and the committee reviewed each application and is recommending funding for 4 of those applications: Clark Middle School At-Risk Program, Project Graduation, PACES, and a Fire EMS Department Training Mannequin. There were 2 submitted from the Police Department for communication equipment and e-bikes, and the committee did not feel that those met the uses for the drug and alcohol funds.
Is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak on this? Seeing no one, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve funding in the amount of $21,995 for substance abuse programs as recommended by the Drug and Alcohol Advisory Committee.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Shannon and a second by Ms. Gurley. We will go ahead and start with you, Mr. McMahon. Any comments, questions?
I don't have any. Thank you.
Ms. Gurley?
Nothing.
Mr. Kipp?
Nothing.
Mr. Shannon?
Tilly, thanks for all you do. You're doing great. Thank you.
Ms. Blanks?
No questions. Thanks, Tilly.
Ms. Long?
No questions, thank you.
Just one comment for the group as a whole. I appreciate their work. I know it's not easy sometimes having to tell people no, but they did their job and did it the right way. So thank you very much. So if there's no other comments or questions, I would go ahead and have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on a motion to approve funding in the amount of $21,995 for substance abuse programs as recommended by the Drug and Alcohol Advisory Committee. Kip?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mrs. LaPlante. On to item number 13, resolution to amend the city fee schedule. Staff?
Chris Briggs, City Clerk. Every year in November, the council approves the city fee schedule. Since November, the amount of open records requests we are getting has increased dramatically. And when the finance director and I looked at what we charge for that, it doesn't come close to cover our costs, which means that our taxpayers end up paying for the open records requests. So that fee is figured for the staff time for those requests. So I'm asking you to approve an increase in that fee from, was $7.25 previously. I think we increased it to $11.15, I think it was, for a quarter hour, something like that.
11:25?
$11.25 for a quarter hour.
Okay, is there anybody from the public wishes to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to adopt a resolution amending the city fee schedule for the city of Bonner Springs, Kansas.
Second.
So we have a motion by Ms. Blanks, a second by Mr. McMahon. We'll start with you, Mr. Shannon.
No questions, I'm sorry.
Mr. Kipp?
No question.
Nothing.
Mr. McMahon?
questions.
Ms. Blanks?
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Long?
No questions.
Yeah, you hate to do that because you want to try to make information as transparent as possible to the public, but we have to also take in consideration that someone could just constantly request and waste the staff's time when they could be doing something much more productive and useful. So with that said, I would go ahead and have the city clerk call the vote, record the vote.
Gurley?
Yes.
Gibb?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to item number 14, 2025-2026 benefit renewals.
Amber Vogan, City Manager. We received the rates from NPR, who provides our group health insurance and dental and vision. The rates that they gave us went up 3%, an average of 3% for all health insurance plans. We plan to keep the same health insurance plans that we offered in the past, the same dental insurance plan that we've offered in the past, but NPR is switching the vision insurance. It's still the same carrier, but they used to have two plan options. Now they're only going to offer one, which is the richer of the two. So we'll be moved to that plan. We did budget 7% for these rate increases. So with it being around 3%, we plan to absorb the cost so that we don't have to pass those costs on to our employees, so that we can remain competitive in the benefits market as shown with the McGrath study.
Thank you. Is there a resident that wishes to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to authorize the city manager to sign an agreement with NPR to provide employees with health, dental, and vision insurance coverages as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Mr. McMahon, and we'll start with you, Ms. Blanks.
No questions. Thank you, Amber, for taking care of that.
Ms. Long?
No questions. Thanks for budgeting so that the cost doesn't have to be passed on to the employees. That's great.
Mr. McMahon?
No questions.
Ms. Gurley?
No.
Mr. Kipp?
Amber, have we looked at other options? I mean, NPR, I'm not as familiar with the government side of it, but in the private, they shop health insurance viciously. You know, it's super competitive and it just changes constantly. I was curious how much we look outside of NPR or.
We have not. NPR has a large pool of employees that they're able to pull from so that they can get economy of scale rates with their carriers. They do broker and shop for different plans to make sure that their members are getting the best deal possible for the type of health plans that they're getting. We did switch probably about 3 years ago now NPR did recommend that we switch from the Cigna plan that we had to this UMR plan due to the lower rates that UMR had. But we have not gone out and shopped rates. We can in the future. With our smaller pool, we may not be as competitive, but we can always check it out.
Sure, yeah, it's usually based on lives. Sometimes those bigger pools are surprisingly not as efficient, but I don't know the public sector. The private sector, it's worth looking at if you can have somebody else do the legwork and don't take your time, just to give them the census and let them figure it out, but thank you.
Mr. Shannon?
Amber, thank you very much for looking out for the employees. I think that's speaks very well of you and the way, the type of city manager you are, and I know it's definitely appreciated, so thank you.
I have nothing additional, so if there's no other additional questions from anyone, I will go ahead and have the clerk call for the vote.
Kip?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item numbers 15 and 16, we are going to be going into some executive sessions. Before I ask for a motion, since we've been sitting up here for 2 hours, would anybody like a quick break? Okay, let's take about a 3-minute break, 4-minute break, and start here.
How much time do you want?
It's on there.
Okay.
So, we are back in session, and on to item number 15. We have an executive session, so if somebody would like to make that motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to the exception for consultation with an attorney, KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in City Council chambers at 9:45.
Second.
Okay. I'm not going to ask for a discussion on this one, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. We will be back at 9:45. know, it was hot in there. It feels good out here.
Stuffy in there.
Okay, I would accept a motion to resume the open meeting with no action taken at 9:46.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Ms. Gurley, a second by Mr. Shannon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I assume we're out of executive session. Number one. On to item number 16, executive session for non-elected personnel matters pursuant to exception KSA 75-12. I'll just let whoever makes the motion can finish it out.
How long would you like? 15?
15 minutes.
Minister Mary will make a motion to go into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel matters pursuant to exception KSA 75-4319B1. The open meeting will resume in council chambers at 10:03.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Gurley, and we'll go ahead and we'll give this one to Ms. Blanks. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will be back in 15 minutes. You guys all got comfortable sitting down. I guess I can go and turn this mic off.
whatever, open meeting with no action taken.
Second.
At what time?
Oh, it is now 10:06.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Gurley, a second by Mr. Shannon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, on to city manager's report.
Keep it short.
All right, so on this coming Monday, on the 21st, we have a 6:30 special meeting to cover a budget workshop. This will be similar to the last one that we held at the police station, where we have representatives from each department coming in, kind of giving a quick prior year review and some high-level info on challenges and opportunities that you may see coming in this next budget and CIP review as we're working through the budget. And it'll also be a strategic style meeting that we'd like to hear from you all, direction in CIP and budget, similar to what we did last year as well. And I can bring we still have all of the notes that we took from last year, so I will bring those back so that you can cross things off or update them. But that's what I'm planning on that meeting, so I wanted to give you a high-level overview.
Where will that be?
I was just going to verify with the,
Hopefully the police station, if they're available, and if they're not, then fire station, probably.
so you'll advise us in the,
We
during
will,
the course
yes,
of the week?
yes,
Okay.
yep. And then 6:30. And then I'd like to bring Matt Beats up here. He will give a quick update on the 138th Street project.
I can tell you
Bless
all
your
about
heart.
it. What do you want to know? I'm good friends with all of
I'll
them.
fill in the details that she misses.
Well, really, it's more like just kind of a heads up on something. We did run into a problem on Thursday or Friday last week. We realized that the high-pressure water line that feeds Cedar Springs area got omitted out of the original plans. The plans show us actually tying it back into the new water line that they're putting in right now. Fortunately, that line is actually a low-pressure line. So where it runs into a problem is everyone in the first phase of Cedar Springs, and especially those townhomes that are like 3 stories tall, they have to be under high pressure to get service. We actually did try it the other day, shutting off the high pressure and just opening up the low pressure valves on that side. And it was like 37 pounds at the houses. So it's not going to be near enough to get them back into it. So the existing high pressure line right now is in the way of the storm drains going down that side of the east side of the street. So engineering has looked at it. Right now, the estimate's roughly around 30 grand is what it's going to cost. But we just wanted to give you guys a heads up that
Cost
project is coming
to
up.
move it, reload to,
We'll put in a new 8-inch high pressure line down through there. So it's an older line. So that's really, I sent Amber an email last week saying, hey, just heads up, we just realized this, and here's all the stuff we found out. And she suggested that maybe I'd present this to you guys tonight just to give you a kind of a heads up. So
So
you
that
won't be
would-
surprised of it when I come back forward here before long and with the $30,000 roughly.
so that would take that 8-inch high-pressure line all the way down the hill?
No, it'll just,
Or just
it just
across?
goes from intersection of Morris
Up to Cedar Springs?
down to Grove, and it will tie it back into that system right there. But
And
Other than that, looked
since
like-
you're up there, was it a bad locate, or did the contractor make a mistake when they
Oh,
tore
for
up
this?
no, when they ripped up the Spectrum line Friday?
I have no idea.
So, I think it was Friday. Was it Friday, Saturday?
What's that?
The Spectrum line, I think it was Friday. When you
I-
reached out
I
and
know
asked me.
exactly what happened, I can tell you.
Oh, okay,
It was a contractor error.
gotcha.
I was watching it when it happened.
Just in case some of the constituents reach out to me, I can.
Other than that, I went by this late this afternoon and visited the site. It looked like they got the low pressure line down to Grove. So they're moving along.
They're across Grove now.
A lot of rock.
So are they actually half pressure now, or they're going to be suffering until they actually get this repair?
In Cedar Springs?
Yeah.
This line's still currently in, so we won't take them out of service.
Gotcha.
So, they literally would have dripping
Oh, you
water.
found it when you were turning that line off, is when you found the low pressure issue? Or,
That's when we tested it, and we tested it, turned the line off, went to see what we had for pressure wise, and that's when we realized, yeah, it's not going to work under low pressure. It needs to stay on that high pressure side. So,
Thanks, man. Did you have anything else for him? And anything else, period? Okay, then on to
Those guys have
council.
all been great to work with, by the way, Matt.
And on to council items. We'll start down there with you, Mr. Shannon. Mr. Kipp, Mrs. Gurley.
I had a request for increased patrols on Glenwood on the weekends. The activity is ramped up on the weekends specifically, so anything we can do to help those residents is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. McMahon? Ms. Mikes?
You can always count on me to have a few things. I'll try to make it quick. One, I want to invite everybody to the morning mingle at the Bonner Springs Police Department. Shout out Captain Pate for arranging that with me. I want to thank Public Works and Amber tomorrow. It's tomorrow from 8:30 to 10 a.m. And then I want to thank Amber and Public Works. I brought up to Amber that those medians on Cedar we would like for them to be painted yellow. There's been a lot of concerns online about it. And within like a week, the crews were out there painting yellow, and I saw it today for the first time, and it makes a huge difference. So thank you for scheduling your crew to do that. I do want to shout out the fire department. My brother lives on Kindred, and the unit above him caught fire over the weekend. And he actually called it in to 911, and everybody was on scene very quickly. So we just have amazing fire and EMS services, so thank you to everybody. And then lastly, I want to thank the very concerned citizen who went to the chief of police to report my unexpired tags that they thought they were going to be expired soon. So I just wanted to let that person know that my tags have been renewed. My insurance is due in June. If you would like to help me remind to renew my June car insurance, I would appreciate that. And then just lastly, I just once again want to touch base on that, we're all okay with great community conversation online about questions, comments, concerns, and even opinions. But I do want to remind our grown adults that are twice my age in this community about just online bullying, and just a reminder that our students and our youth are in some of these groups and see the way that you are talking about either your neighbors, city staff, or my fellow council members. I've recently had to delete a post because somebody edited a photo to make fun of somebody who works really hard in this community. And I draw a very, very, very hard line there. And I just think that we all need to keep in mind that all of us who sit up here have jobs or volunteer, have families. Like, we're normal people who stepped into this role to serve our community. And if you would like to give it a shot, you can go down to the election office and file to run, or talk to Amber and see what positions we have open in the city if you think that you have better ideas, which is totally fine. But again, we really need to put a stop to harassing each other online just because we have a difference of opinions, specifically for our youth. So once again, thank you to everybody out there who work very, very hard for the city of Bonner Springs and run their operation with high integrity. It's a very thankless job, and all of you do an incredible job. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blanks. Ms.
I
Long?
can't follow that, but I have nothing tonight. That's fine.
I will keep it short as well. Just one little thing. I just want to mention, I received a text message that Emily actually was on that same message with me. And I just want to make sure that we hear a lot of complaining and griping. It's always good to hear things that are really appreciative of the staff. Happy Hearts Working. Carol Farnsworth reached out, and part of her comment was that she had talked to the architects who are designing the interior of that building, and they've made a comment that the staff have been so fantastic to work with. They were responsive, gave them great direction, And they couldn't say, they couldn't be more pleased in the way the staff treated them. So I just want to make sure staff is aware that there are people who do recognize your efforts. So thank you, everyone. So if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to adjourn at 10:16.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Long, a second by Ms. Blanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's get out of here.